What's up, child of God? Before we dive in on today's video and react to the awesome, incredible videos we have today, we shall be reading from the Book of Wisdom and talking with our Almighty Supreme Creator. But first, let me take these few seconds to thank you for clicking this video. Lots of love and respect for that gesture. Taking you through today, I am Y311H and child of God. I am here because of the message we have. The message of uniting the whole world, ensuring all Earthlings are honest, forgiving with one another, kind, my friend, and not just that. Everyone loves their neighbor the way they love themselves. And with your help, child of God, we can reach this message to all corners of this world. So hit that like button, watch till the end, and leave your thoughts of what you think down below. Now, before we start, from the Book of Wisdom, today it tells us something interesting about one another. We always thank God for all of you, mentioning you in our prayers, like we shall be doing shortly. We continually remember before our God and Father your work produced by faith, your labor produced by love, and your endurance inspired by hope in our Lord Jesus Christ. That is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 2 and 3. Interesting, right? Now, before we talk with our mighty supreme creator, let me tell you something, child of God. You see the videos we shall be reacting to today. It will also be my first time going through them. So, everything I tell you, be sure that that's what I think for the first time. You see? And if I by mistake fail to explain perfectly like the way you would have expected of these videos, my friend, it's because of the anxiousness and good vibes that overwhelms me sometimes through the videos. Now let's talk with our Father and ask Him to help us compose ourselves and do great in this video. Dear Lord Father, full of kindness, love, mercy, we thank you for this day, Father. We come before you today in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for your adorable viewer today. We give you glory, Father. Dear Lord, we have videos that we shall be reacting together to with this adorable child of yours. Guide us through, Father. Change our minds, Father, and our lives through these videos, Father. Fill our hearts with your love and good vibes, Father. And this viewer that is watching, dear Lord, may you be merciful to them, forgive them all their sins, Father. Lead them in your paths, Father. Give their souls strength, dear Lord, to do good and what is right at all times, Father. And as you do incredible things in this viewer's life, Father, include us too. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive into the village, child of God.
I can always tell when somebody's blood sugar has been high for a long time just by looking at their face. This is true for both men and women, but it tends to be more obvious in men just because women pay a little more attention to their face, masking this finding with makeup. When I see a flaky, reddish, pinkish rust right in the creases of the nose, sometimes even raw appearing, that's the telltale sign. Sometimes it's very subtle, but I see it so often, and in these people, the A1C tends to be 11, 12, 13% and higher. Many with this rash simply dismiss it as dry skin, especially the men. But it's not just dry skin, it represents an overgrowth of skin fungus because the sugar is so high, and this sugar is food for the fungi. So if you notice this rash on your spouse, your parents, your grandparents, please gently encourage them to get their blood sugar checked. Your skin is a mirror of what's going on inside, and sometimes this is actually the first warning that you have diabetes to begin with. Please heed this warning and get yourself checked out.
Do you all remember that video of the woman on the plane screaming, "That MFer isn't real"? Well, I just read a story that reminded me of that, and I have to tell you. So this woman emailed me. She wants to be anonymous, but she said when she met her now husband, he would always talk about how he was a huge Blue Angels fan. He grew up near Pensacola watching them fly. He had a signed photo on the wall that he had had since he was a kid, and one of his dreams when they had kids was to bring his kids to see a Blue Angels show. So on one trip to Pensacola, they take their two kids to go see the Blue Angels at the National Aviation Museum where the Blue Angels practice. They watch a show. It was her and her kids' first time seeing an air show, and they were just absolutely blown away. After the show ended, they go back into the museum and they were waiting to meet the pilots. There were 3 separate lines that led to 2 pilots each. The idea was for the kids to get a photo with the pilot so that they could hang up their signed photo next to their daddy's picture on the wall. So she's waiting in one line with her son, and her husband has her daughter in another line waiting. She gets up to the pilot, and all of a sudden she looks in his eyes and she just has this insane sense of dread. She said she can't really explain what she felt. It was just, I'm not supposed to be here looking at you. She said she looked at the other one. He looked off too, but the one directly in front of her had her totally captivated. There was something off about his arms. She said they didn't look real, okay? And the way that he moved was just all wrong. He was jerky. The way that he spoke was weird. She said something about it was just not right. And so all the hair on the back of her neck is standing up. She's like, we have to get out of here. So she takes her son away. He's acting weird. He seems like something's off, but she doesn't know if he was just picking up on her energy. So they get the signed photo, whatever. She's not going to say anything about it. They walk away about 10 feet over to a table to wait for her husband and her daughter. Her husband walks over to them a minute later. He looks her straight in the eye and he says, they aren't real. She said neither of them exchanged another word. They just dragged their kids out of there. She said her husband can't explain it either. He just said they don't seem human. She said leaving there, she wanted to run. It felt like she was about to have an anxiety attack. She can't explain it, neither can her husband. She said the energy was just all off. And part of the reason I'm putting this on my backup account instead of my main account is because she said that she thinks that there's going to be a little bit of backlash from this video because the Blue Angels fans are diehard and they will probably defend them. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just sharing her experience. And she said she didn't expect me to make a video, but she just wanted to know if anyone else had an experience because this happened before that lady on the plane video. Obviously, they were there. Like, there were other people in line that met them, but something about them did not seem human, and she wants to know if anybody else has ever experienced anything specifically with this group. All of my other spooky, scary story times are on my main account. This one is just kind of for the redacted and questionable stories.
I just heard the most interesting story ever. I had to share with you. A man in his 60s in Beijing owns an apartment worth about $1.5 million. And he's in his 60s. He wants to give this apartment to his son, who's in his 30s. And the local authorities are trying to charge him about $65,000 in inheritance tax in order to transfer this apartment to his son's name. So he comes up with a genius idea. He gets divorced from his wife of over 30 years. And then his younger son also gets divorced from his wife. And the man, the father, marries his son's now ex-wife. They get married. Signs over the apartment to this new wife's name that only costs about $10. In China, you can transfer property between the husband and wife and the husband for essentially no cost. And then they get divorced again. The young lady then remarries her ex-husband, and the older man remarries his ex-wife. It's a tongue twister to say all this. That's genius, but I don't see how this is newsworthy. You know what would have been newsworthy? If that young lady said, man, the hell with you and your daddy. I'm still upset about that fight we had at the movie theater. The hell with both of you. I'm out. And leaves with the apartment under her name. Now that will be a story.
He hasn't noticed me yet. Chaos. Hi. Hi. Oh. Hi, buddy.
You know what's weird about school is that every subject is given the same amount of time. Like, what are the odds that it takes the same amount of time to learn math and science and history? Doesn't it seem like some of those subjects should have run out at some point while the others would have kept going? I mean, if school was actually about learning, wouldn't some school years be a little bit longer while others would be a little bit shorter? That's because school is not set up around learning. It's set up for scheduling. The schedule is paramount, and everything exists to serve the schedule. But what's so weird is that we adhere to this strict set of inputs in terms of curriculum and scheduling, while also accepting wild variance in terms of outcome. Some students do good, some do bad. But it's like we ended up with a factory system, but without factory standards. Like, if you had a car factory that produced some flawless cars and some complete wrecks, you would probably question the factory. You'd probably say, hey, we're doing something wrong here. Students might not be able to articulate this, but they understand it. They can see everything is kind of arbitrary. I mean, you tell them things like, 90% of success is showing up. But if success is showing up, then what are we even succeeding at? If 90% of success is showing up, then success is not about achievement. It's about compliance. That's what we're trying to tell you to do, is comply. I mean, there's all these stories now coming out about college students using ChatGPT to cheat on tests. And it's like, are you really surprised? I mean, you set up a system around scheduling, and they approached it with the logic of a scheduler, which is check the box and move on. I mean, it's not that they don't care, it's that they know you don't care, and they responded.
All right, downtown LA, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I see this cable going across the entire street over into this. And this is wild. Somebody busted into this telephone or this light pole and connected some sketchy wire. And this wire goes all the way across the street to there. It's so sketchy.
Watch this brand new Tesla Model Y roll off the line and drive itself to be delivered. That's absolutely insane. So this guy, Joe, on X, he always flies his drone around the Tesla factory, the Tesla Austin factory. And he was asked to follow a car to see what the route looks like when a Model Y or a new car comes off the line and goes to its logistics lot. So just I want to point something out, first of all, this is not a closed loop of a road. This is an open road with trucks, construction, motorcycles, whatever. But what's exciting is, if it can do this, there's no driver in there right now. And if it's driving like this, what's going to stop it from driving all the way to your house instead of the logistics lot, right? Elon Musk said this is going to happen this year in 2025, which absolutely blows my mind. And also the cost savings of this, there's no employee that has to go and come back and go and come back. And also look, this birthing tunnel of the Cybertrucks, the Cybertruck also driving itself all the way to the logistics lot. This is absolutely insane. We're living in the future. These two cars just driving themselves without a driver and going in their own lane in the logistics lot waiting to be delivered. Eventually, they're just going to deliver themselves straight to your house. Absolutely insane. And then there's another Model Y coming over here. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Let me know.
What? My friends, to be honest, I don't think that is real. You mean a car can drive itself home? You see, from this side of the world, when we were children, there were stories that English people could send their dogs even to the shop, and they could go and come back. Now, it's quite more surprising. Things have improved. It's cars. Someone can send their car to the shop and come back. That's unbelievable. But do you know what is even unbelievable from being this side of the world? Is seeing the video the Good Vibes was showing us about homelessness in English lands. Wow, children of God, I have never ever thought or imagined that there could be homeless people in English lands. From the perspective we have down here in this side of the world, English lands is the best place and such things cannot happen. That place is so modernized. We hear that even homeless people are paid. I'm being surprised is not true, Good Vibes source. It's mind-blowing, you see? We've also seen another Good Vibes source that was telling us an interesting story of an old man in Beijing. That Good Vibes guy was very wise. He used his brain to marry, remarry, divorce, but that process must have been quite tiresome. Imagine if there was no honesty in those guys or trust. Someone there could have conned the other. Anyway, children of God, all these things are going on in this world, and we need to unite everyone so that we can all get a Good Vibes glimpse of what's going on. Peace and love to you from where you're watching from. Let's keep on spreading good vibes.
I'm Miss Wilhelm. I teach 10th grade English, and something that happens quite often that I don't ask for is getting called king. Students constantly call me king. I tell them, hey, you need to be working on your work. Yes, king. Yes, king. This started last year. It's continued to this year for whatever reason with my new students, to where they even call me king via email. In email to their teacher, they will call me king. Let me show y'all. Prime example, this student has their fairy tale they need to turn in. He emailed, I'll get it done by the end of the day, king. I gotta fix up some stuff. First of all, there should be a comma and a period right here. Comma before king, period after king. You're emailing your English teacher, why are we not using proper grammar? And second of all, I'm not even a male, but I guess, who's Miss Wilhelm? I have no idea. I am now king, just king. Name, don't need one, just king.
Okay, you might have heard a private jet company tried to sue Logan Paul over this.
Oh, shit. Oh, open which way? When? Or which? Pull it.
This is great. Now we know what happened. We really need to open it.
So what actually went down?
So I opened this door. I thought I did a good deed. I had to write a letter to the FAA, like saying what happened. And today I get a letter from the charter company saying like it's my fault. The lead passenger on the flight was Logan Paul. Prior to the commencement of the flight, Mr. Paul forcibly opened the door to the aircraft.
This all happened before the flight even started, but Logan and everybody around him said they could already feel their ears popping. That's a huge clue. Your ears pop when there's a pressure difference. And if that was happening on the ground, it suggests the cabin was already pressurizing. Now, when the cabin has higher pressure than the outside air, a force will push in this direction. The only thing holding it in is the mechanical latch on the door. That's what keeps it sealed tight to the fuselage. So when Logan helped unjam the door, as instructed by the cabin crew,
You guys gotta open it.
he basically removed the force that held the door shut. So the door ejected rapidly and forcefully. Yeah, he said it exploded.
The door! It exploded!
But if they used it as steps to get off the plane, then the door was very much still intact.
Yo, está moviendo muy lenta y otra vez ahora está fallando el matrix. Hay que llamar al programador para que arregle ese porque ya las fallas son muy constantes. Véanlo ahí.
Where? My friends, unbelievable things caught on camera. I didn't know planes can just pause in mid-air. Is that normal? Or maybe that was a stopover for these guys to use the shortcut. You see, from this side of the world, when people board a bus, there's usually such stops for people to relieve themselves before the journey continues. Guys that have boarded a plane, is it the same case or something mysterious had happened to that plane? Please tell us down below. Also, I've seen something unexplainable, crazy. From this side of the world, if we saw something like that, my friends, there wouldn't even have been someone to record. The big snake, the big cobra, 30 meters. Wow, that thing good web source. What could you have done if you encountered such a thing? Please tell us down below, you see? And now before you continue watching, let's big up all the teachers watching in the comment section. Much love to you guys. You are unbelievably great. You brought up people in this world and taught them good stuff at school. God bless you abundantly. All the teachers watching, please teach the children love and peace so that they can grow up as wonderful humans. That comes after that video we saw with the good vibes teacher. Peace. Let's keep on watching.
Hey Elon, when you come over to the DoD and you're looking to make things more efficient, let me show you something that's really efficient here in the Air Force. So this is called the A-10 Thunderbolt II, also called the Warthog. You might have heard of it. So we're so efficient over here that we put a 19-foot gun into a 53-foot long airplane. Okay, we put them together. We put the gun inside of the airplane. Okay, that's almost half of the airplane is filled up with a gun. This gun is so efficient that it can shoot about 70 bullets the size of beer cans a second. From 4,000 feet away, 80% of its rounds will hit within a 20-foot radius. Oh, and on top of that, if you want to be even more efficient, you just use the incendiary rounds. The incendiary rounds are like grenades. So imagine 70 grenades, well, 80% of that, so what, like 65 grenades hitting within a 20-foot radius. I mean, whatever was there isn't there anymore. I mean, that's efficiency right there. But if you compare the cost of a flight hour from the A-10 compared to the F-35, the F-35 is double the cost per flight hour. So when Doge comes to clean house at the DoD, I don't know, maybe just talk to some people who actually know what's going on.
Okay, these spiders seriously gross me out. But this spider has been doing this repeatedly, probably since before I noticed it was doing it. But it drops down, makes this web, it hits the line really long, and then it pulls it all the way back up. And then I don't know if you can see that all the way up there. It's little balls of web that it bundles up. Let's see if I can catch it. Yep, it's gonna do it again. I don't know what it's doing, but how neat is that? I mean, I'm really grossed out right now, but it's super neat, and it just keeps carrying them back and forth. Oh God, I hope it's not having more babies. Okay, it's coming towards me. Goodbye.
Some of y'all have not been taught how to floss your teeth, and it shows. So that is why I'm here to teach you how to floss your teeth, and we're gonna go over how to use string floss, how to use a floss pick, and how to use my electric flosser. This is part 4. I've already taught you how to use an electric toothbrush, a water flosser, and a manual toothbrush. Because look, I'm just trying to help save you $1 or $2 in this economy, and dental care is not cheap, but dental disease is definitely preventable. So the more you do at home, the less you have to do at the dental office. So let's get going. Let's start with regular floss, because regular floss is, I think, what most people have access to. So when I go through all of these techniques, I want you to remember you're flossing between 2 teeth, not one space. So how you'll wind up the floss on your fingers is that you'll put it between your middle fingers like this, and just a little bit on this side, and you're going to use your pointer fingers and your thumb to maneuver the floss like so, like that and down. And up and down. So like going along each side. This is called the C-shape method. You're creating a C, hey, on each side. So let's do this on the model. It's kind of hard for me to have proper technique, but I'm gonna show you how the floss wraps. So see here, when the floss goes between the teeth, you want it wrapped around the side of the tooth there, so that when you're going between the teeth, you're wrapping it around, and then also wrapping it around this way. So like make that C and hug the tooth. Because the plaque between your teeth is on the side of the tooth. You wanna feel like you're wiping the side of your tooth with the floss. If you snap it, like snap it between your teeth and go up against the gums like that, you can cause like a little paper cut right on the gum line there, and that is called a floss clap. That actually can get infected. So when you go between the teeth, you want to gently wiggle this floss between the teeth and maneuver it from side to side on that little point. Don't snap it. You can do more harm than good. So make sure you start all the way behind the back tooth here, just like that. So that back tooth still needs to be flossed because you have plaque that gets along that back area and a little bit of gum there too. As a hygienist, that is where I find the most plaque when I'm scaling. If somebody does not reach that very back tooth, and you want to go in between every single tooth on the bottom and on the top. Don't be going at the same time. Like I've seen people like go here and try to do it that way. No, go tooth to tooth. Spend time with your floss and intentionally clean between each tooth. The more you do this with like intention, the better the result is gonna be. But say you're like, I like floss picks. I don't like to stick my fingers in my mouth. I want to use something a little bit different. This is a floss pick. Floss picks are a bit easier to use. So for a floss pick, it's easier to maneuver in some ways, but also harder to really get that C shape. So you have to be very mindful. When you're using a floss pick, you want to make sure you're start on that back tooth, remember, and then gently snap it between the teeth. You don't want to like bite on it. You don't want to snap it so it's hitting the point of the gums, which is called the papilla. You want to gently wiggle it so it's on each side, and then make sure you're properly adapting it. You can even turn the flosser one way and then turn it the other way to really go around each tooth, just like that. And you can rinse this off between teeth if you'd like, or dip it in mouthwash, whatever works best for you. Please just throw these in the trash though, because I always see them on the sidewalk. Please don't do that. And then here, same thing with the front. You can see how you can still adapt it. You just have to be a little bit more mindful of how you're flossing your teeth. Just like that. And then lastly, I'll show you how to use my electric flosser. I really like this because it's making flossing a lot easier for people, and also the people who have any dexterity issues that even the small flosser is hard to hold. This is making it easier for people to floss and increasing compliance. This also has vibrations to it, like an electric toothbrush. So what you'll do is you'll actually, same thing, start on that back tooth, and then you'll still do, like gently go between the teeth, but because this is vibrating and the way the vibrations happen, it actually guides it between tight contacts. So you don't have to do as much of that work, but you can see, it's hard to see here, that it still wraps. Actually, let me show you this way. It still wraps around. You just have more control because there's a longer handle. So with the front teeth, same thing. You want to really just gently go between each tooth, and those vibrations are going to be doing most of the work for you. But make sure you're flossing each side of the tooth, 2 teeth, not 1 space. And that is how you floss.
Wow! Hey, these people, every day here I'm surprised. Day by day, I see something interesting. When the video was starting, this video that I've just passed, what good vibes was holding there. I was also excited. I wanted to see what those things were used for. I didn't think they were used to for the teeth for a minute there. Wow, it's unbelievable. Those things, if they were put in front of my grandmother, she wouldn't know what to do with them. You see? Maybe she would have used that string to make us a sweater, something like that. Anyway, good vibes. It's interesting how different people live. One of those things, like the small one, I've only ever seen it with a member of parliament from this side of the world. And I thought it is something they were eating. Anyway, it's quite surprising every day here. We've also seen another good web source that was showing us some aeroplane there that is used for fight. You see? One aeroplane that is extremely long and has one extremely huge gun. Wow! It's quite surprising. I wonder why humans have never made something like that to throw food. You see? I mean, they go in places where people are dying of hunger, and there's dozens of food being thrown so fast by a machine like that. People would really enjoy. Good time, you see? Don't need there's need for war. We all need to be loving to one another. Thanks for watching all this way, child of God. It's been a pleasure being with you. And up to this point, I've been your host, White 118. Let's meet one another in this next video. Good stuff.